Okay, I'm not able to be here Friday or Monday, so I wanted to go through a short little tutorial video on the sections that I would like you to do in my absence. So the first one is lesson 3.3, matrix observations, operations, I should say. As you can see, that we are going to be looking at add, subtract, and multiplying matrices, and to use a graphing calculator to perform operations on matrices. Okay. So in this first part here, you're getting some basic information about matrices that you'll need to know in order to be successful. It says that a matrix with m rows and n columns has a dimensions of m by n. Let me go before I go any further. Let me mention the fact that you need to make sure that you read all the information that's presented on this page, including the stuff that's in the margins over here, because it is stuff that you'll want to know. I'm going to go ahead and also start the active inspire so I can write on this as well. Uh, but I'm not going to go through everything, but you have the ability to pause the video and read, and so you should be able to figure this out pretty easily. So as active inspire here is starting up. Also, you'll want to remove this section from the books in the back. Actually, we may have already, that packet that we've been working on may already have it. The lesson 3.3, I can't quite recall whether we've removed this from the books. I think we have. So you should just be a continuation of what you already have. If not, then we'll need to remove those from the books in the back, the springboard books. Okay, so let me just see if I can't. Let's see, is it gonna close that? Okay, I think we're good to go here. So rows go. It says that a matrix is dimensions are m by n, where m is the rows. Rows go horizontally, and then vertically we have the columns. Okay. So columns go vertically. And so this is, as they say there, a 2 by 3 matrix, 2 rows by 3 columns. Okay. 2 rows and then 3 columns. All right. Then they call the entries. The entries are the actual numbers within the matrix. And so to locate a entry, you can see that the address A12, that's not really a 12, that's a 1, 2. That's row 1, column 2. Row 1, column 2 would be represented at 4. So A12 is equal to 4. Okay, so what are the dimensions of the matrix? Well, this one's got 3 rows by 2 columns. So B there is a 3 by 2 matrix, and C is a 2 by 2 matrix. Okay. The entries there, just to pick one out here, look at B, row 1, column 2. That would be represented by that -6 there. Okay, so just some general information. Go ahead and complete the problems there. And let's look at the next page. So you can input a matrix into a graph and calculating the steps below. The problem with this here is that these are steps that you would use for a older calculator. We're using the newer calculators. So let me show you how you would do that on the newer calculators that we use, the TI Inspires. So I have to start up or connect to my other computer because I do not have the Inspire calculator on this one. But we can get it here. Okay. So here we go. So how do I create a matrix here? Well, what I'm going to want to do is I want to go to the matrix menu. I'm just going to start a new document here. Okay, and go to the matrix menu, or to the templates menu, I should say. That's I'm just going to go ahead and add a calculator page here. So I want to start by adding a calculator page, and then I go to this templates menu. And right here, you have a few options for matrix. So you can see that you have a 2x2 matrix, a 1x2, a 2x1, and a this one right here is where you can actually input the dimensions that you would like to use. So that's how you would create a matrix. If I choose that option, then it gives me ability to type in a number of rows and a number of columns into the calculator. Okay. So I'm going to input these into the calculator as it says to do. So we've got matrix A is a 2x2. So I'm going to create a 2x2 matrix here. So 2 and 2. Okay. And go ahead and input the values from this problem. So that'll be 6, -1, and 5, 4. So 6, -1, and 5, 4. 6, -1, and a 5, and a 4. Okay. And then create the other matrix, which I believe is a 2x3 matrix. Yeah, 2 rows, 3 columns, so 2x3. So back to the matrix menu. I want 2 rows, 3 columns, and inputting the numbers here. It's going to be a 3, -2, 5 across the top, 3, -2, and 5, followed by the second row, which is 6, 0, -4. 6, 0, -4. Okay. So that is how we input or can input matrices into the calculator, and then we can add them up. So let's see if we can figure out how to. If I can figure, we can figure out how to actually name the matrix. Okay, so I can put this one here. Actually, let me mention this. When adding and subtracting matrices, the number of rows and columns has to be equal. So I can only add a 2x3 matrix to another 2x3 matrix. And it's really quite simple. All I would do is take what would be in the first row, first column, from one matrix and add it to the first row, first column of the second matrix if I were to be adding the two matrices together. So you can see that the first, when I add this C plus the D, the first entry is going to be a 7 because 2 plus 5 is 7. 8 plus 0 is 8. 10 minus 2 or 10 plus a -2 is 8, and so on and so forth. So you can see how the subtraction works. So you should be able to do A, B, and C here at the bottom here. I would think relatively easily based on that. Okay. And then we get into the multiplication of matrices. Okay. And this is where things get a little more complicated. So it says here you can also find the product of two matrices A and B if the number of columns A is equal to the number of rows B. So columns has to be equal to rows in order to multiply two matrices together. For example, the dimensions of matrix A are 3x2, so it's got 2 columns, and the dimensions of matrix B are 2x1, so it has 2 rows. So columns and rows match, therefore it is possible to multiply these together. Okay. So to find the entry in row I in column J of product AB, to find the sum of the products of consecutive entries in row I of matrix A and column J of matrix B. To see what this means, take a look at the example. So let's take a look at the example here. So you got your step 1. So it's 2x3 by 3x2. And so as you can see here, if you follow the steps, you should be able to figure it out.